What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video in the Overland build series. We are going to step away from the Jeep Liberty for just a little bit. Just need to figure out what we're going to do next on it. Need to figure out a lift, tires, if I want to do an offset wheel or spacer wheel, front bumper, all that's coming for it. It's just I have to figure out what I'm going to do. But if you guys watched the, I believe, first video of the Jeep Liberty build, or whatever one we built the drawers and the bed rack, you guys will recognize my homemade Overland trailer that I started probably over a year ago. I'll kind of dub in some pictures here of what it looked like when I was actually building it, right here in this garage. It was supposed to be pulled by the Tacoma because we used to take the Tacoma off-road, and then the Tacoma is no more. So my plan was just to sell that, but now, after taking out the Jeep Liberty this last weekend, I also dubbed a few pictures from that as well. When it was just Courtney and I figured out that is too small of a vehicle to take an entire family camping. And that is me, Courtney, Brooks, who's a 2-year-old but is only going to get bigger, and then our German Shepherd named Bailey. That being said, I realized I had this half-built Overland trailer that I had taken a few pieces off when we built the Jeep Liberty, but nothing I can't replace, and actually I want to change up a few things on that as well. So the box is built, the kitchen is built. It still needs to be sealed a little bit more because water does still get in there, but there's nothing, a little bit of silicone or caulk or a little bit different design can't help. It's already got the off-road tires, the axle flip done. It's not going to be a huge build. All right, finally got some time to move some trailers out and get the Overland trailer out. Even the Jeep's putting in work. Was gonna use that, but didn't think people would be too impressed about the squad car pulling a couple sleds around in the middle of April. But, and this thing's only about like half charge, so we're just letting that charge up. But moving it this far is not gonna hurt it. But yeah, Jeep's moving around a not very heavy sled trailer, so it's nice to have that vehicle too. All right, y'all, so before we actually get a start or a fresh start on the Overland trailer, first thing I have to do is obviously get it out of the garage or the lean-to and get it into the actual garage, but I'm not gonna get into the actual garage yet because I wanna show you guys kind of what we're gonna have to fix on this, and then obviously what I wanna add to it, because there's definitely a few things I should have done different. But now is kind of my time to get a fresh start on it and kind of go from there. So this is the trailer. It's a 4x6 carry-on trailer, like the kind you can get from like a Tractor Supply or L&M. It obviously was just the bottom rack and had much smaller tires on it before, with the axle actually flipped the other way. I did the axle flip, found a cheap set of tires on Marketplace for like 50 bucks. This one could probably be replaced. It definitely has some more wear on the outer side than the inner side. These are just typical trailer tires. I think they're actually the same size that's on the Ice Castle, but I'm not 100% sure. It had a ramp that would come off the back and flip down. If you guys paid attention to my YouTube channel or go back and watch any of the dirt bike videos I had when I was pulling this thing around at the Scion TC, you would have seen that trailer before. The trailer, it's kind of in, or was in kind of rough shape. I want to buy it a pickup and never really used it. And it sat at a residence down by Nevis and actually had a tree fall on it at one point, which is why the tongue is a little more bent up than I would like, but with enough welding and reinforcement, I think we can bring that back around. And I also want to extend this tongue so we can still take advantage of the swing out on the Jeep Liberty. That being said, that's one job that needs to be done. I'm thinking about switching this over to a different style just for more off-road articulation purposes of it. It does have this kitchen drawer built with an extra little thing right here. I like this design, but I mean, you can see my cuts were definitely not the most accurate, as well as it's not the easiest thing to push in and out. So it's a little on the tight side. As well as I don't believe this is 100% waterproof, how it should be, being that it's kind of got this little lip hanging out here. The clamps, probably leave them the way they are, but I don't know if I'm gonna have to do a little overhang, what I'm gonna have to do there, as well as the paint that's on here is just a primer. It's not like this oil-based paint, which is a little more hydrophobic. So we have that to work out. Also, there used to be the rack on top of this, which is now on the top of that, which is why this countertop used to be able to fold up like so and would hook into the rack above. So obviously we're gonna have to find a way to make that work, because I do think that the countertop is one of the cooler parts of this build. It's actually a piece of the old rack. There's the old rack with the terrible patchwork done. That's going to be the roof rack as soon as I get more metal. And then back here, this looks like it's built well, and it actually is very solid, but there's actually no point to have these clamps back here because this thing is actually stuck. You can see the whole trailer moving. So we're gonna have to sand down 2x4 on the back. Let's see if we can actually get her open. So that's definitely watertight. I have some more seals to throw in here, but I mean, you can see a little bit of some mold is starting in here just from sitting in a wet environment, as well as some up here. You can kind of see where the water was coming in before in that corner. So it's definitely going to be a work in progress to try to kind of get this stuff squared away, and that's actually still a little bit moist. So probably put it inside the garage. It's actually waterproof. That's not a water puddle, it's an oil puddle. For a while, we'll leave all the doors open, probably throw a fan inside, let the thing fully dry out, and we'll have to kind of figure out how to make it a little more waterproof, or at least add a vent into it so it can vent a little bit. But that being said, I'm gonna push it in, let it air out, and we'll be back with you when we start this build. So did a little bit of work on the trailer. It's about a week later than where we left off, building the homemade rack that we completely wasted our time in doing because I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to buy a Harbor Freight rack and we'll fabricate mounts. It's not that I don't think this will work, it's just really small. And being that we're going to be throwing paddle boards up top, everything like that, I'm going to get some cheap Harbor Freight like Pelican boxes, stuff like that for storage. Up on top, we are just going to scrap this or maybe use it for something else. But since the last time I recorded anything, I have siliconed everything on top, waiting for that to dry. I just got done doing that. This top is going to get painted. It's just primed right now with an oil-based waterproof paint like this. Be on top, so hopefully keep the water out. We'll be able to test that. I fixed the back door here, so it's still tight, but it's not super stuck, so looks a lot nicer. And I put actual door seals in here. Right now the door just closes pretty decent. Still catches a little bit down here, but I'd rather have it be like that and just have to give it a knee than have it like it was before and completely unable to even get it open without having it hooked up to something or too loose where it's always shaking around. Happy with that. So yeah, we're gonna go with that. Once we get the rack on here, we'll be able to re-put the cable for the flip down counter up there. But for today, we are going to mount a gas tank to the front, an auxiliary gas tank for the Jeep. Just a little 5-gallon thing that goes in the front, as well as I'm also gonna set it up to, whenever I get around to ordering the water holders, that will go in there as well up front, and possibly like a propane holder, other storage racks, stuff like that. I don't want to go with a tongue box because tongue's not very long in this thing to start with. And being that it's an off-road vehicle and it might get jackknifed, I don't want it to damage the back of the $250 Jeep Liberty, which is sitting right back there. So I am going to find the mounts. I know the tank's sitting right there. I don't know where the mount's at. I got to find that. And we will mount that to the front. All right, so this is the front of the trailer. It's already coated with the waterproof stuff. It's actually really tough. And then the bottom has spray undercoating on it. The reason I'm going to mount stuff to this wall on the trailer instead of per se the back wall is when I'm going down the road, I can't see the back end if anything's falling off, going through the woods. I don't know about clearance. If I put it on the front, I can always see it. It's also more secure in terms of someone possibly come and steal it, as well as it's just kind of a lot of unused space that would be nice to use. The plan is still to extend this, so it's not going to be a huge deal with the swing out from that. But my plan is using the mounts, and I believe this is a cheap Amazon gas tank. I've never actually put gas in here before. This came, oh, it's 2 gallon, not 5 gallon. So it'll be a lot lighter. But anyway, never actually used this thing before. It came on the Overland rack that was on the Tacoma. I'll bump in a picture right up here what that looked like. And I wound up taking it off because I felt it was more beneficial to mount shovels and stuff that I'll actually use on the Tacoma, being that we haven't done the super long range trips with the Tacoma, and we won't be able to because it got crashed. So I'm gonna put this on here. This has a significantly small tank, and with the giant parachute of a rooftop tent on top, it averages about 13 miles to the gallon. And that's gonna get even worse once I get the mud tires on it as well. So we're gonna get that mounted there, and then we're gonna figure out what else I wanna mount on here. I'm just gonna do it with bolts, mount it, and then we'll silicone around the bolts, make sure there's no water gets in there that way, and then we'll mount that up, and I'll show you guys kind of what I'm thinking after I get it mounted. Okay, got this mounted, just 3 bolts and a couple nuts on the backside, along with some fender washers. I'm gonna take this off at some point here and just sand that down and respray. It's just surface rust. But this goes on like so, and then this goes in here. Screw it on, push the triangle in, so on and so forth, and it will be mounted right there. Now we just kind of figure out what we want to do with the rest of it. All right, y'all. So I know most of this video is not actually being productive at all because we didn't wind up using the ramp, but it's part of DIY and fabricating your own stuff. Sometimes you're gonna build stuff and it's not gonna work out. That's why it's thrown in the video. Also, I'm waiting on parts to show up, and I kind of want to get a video out. So, yeah. We did do something good in this video, though. We did get the gas tank mounted, as well as we got door seals on the back door fixed. Drawer system is out for the moment. I'm trying to figure out color scheme for this thing. Obviously, it's going to stay, the main color is going to stay gray. The top's going to be gray. But I need like accent colors. So put down in the comments what you guys think would be a good color for the accent colors. For whatever reason, I'm thinking orange. I don't know why. I'm thinking some orange wheels would look sick. I still have the wheel paint from the Jeep out here, which is this gray paint right here that I was originally planning on matching. But being that the stickers on this are orange, and I also just like the color orange, I am really considering making orange pop a little bit more in this trailer. I could do the wheels orange, I could do some of the metal orange, drawer system could be orange, all these different things. But again, I'm not 100% sure on it. Courtney wants pink. I'm trying to go away from that, but put down in the comments what you guys think. Other than that, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.